So that men can go back to their God-given positions. And
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
why we need such platforms. It's called Legacy Conference. I wanted to talk about the theme, Seed Breaks Cycle. Why this particular theme for this year's conference?
Remember, Mpho, all things start with a seed. In the book of Genesis, when God created everything, both from the perspective of agriculture, biology, and then spiritually, He said He created things with a seed in its own, which therefore now goes to the fact that you will only produce after your own kind. And but the more meaning of this theme, seed break cycle, it comes from the reality of what seeds does when it is planted. So without giving much, because I want men to come and hear
Yes.
what is it all about, we know that before a seed germinates, before it gives fruit, whatever seed it is, because seeds are always for a reason from all spheres of their influence. Even the seeds that are not giving fruit, they have a work they do, whether they prevent soil erosion, they give shade, they give fruit. But seeds by nature, they give birth to something that is meaningful to life. So we want to say to men, because God said a solution to what Satan has said is a seed. Remember when Adam and Eve messed up in the garden, God said a seed of a woman will crush the head of a serpent. So there is a solution, and that solution is in a seed. So when we talk about seed, we may talk about seed physical, we may talk about seed as ideas. We can talk a seed about the things we start to remedy the situation that South Africa is in, even the world
Yeah.
abroad. And also the Bible say your seed will possess the gates of your enemies. In nature, when a woman is pregnant, Mpho, I will drop it here. In nature, when a woman is pregnant, the first thing that a seed does when it hits the egg, it breaks the menstrual cycle. So once the seed hits the right spot, the first thing you see, there's going to be a change. Something must stop,
Yeah.
and then another thing must begin. So when we say a seed break cycle, we want men who's going to come out of that conference to break the cycles of poverty, cycles of abuse,
Amen.
cycles of gender-based violence and femicide, child abuse. Men who are going to be a seed in their community, standing for what is right.
Amen.
Because no tree starts with fruit. Every tree starts with roots. And we cannot have even the tree and the roots without first planting the seed. So we're hoping that when we come out of that, everybody will go to his community and be a seed of ideas, change, motivation, and inspiration. So for that reason, I think all men should not miss this. If you're a woman, send your boy child, send your uncle, send your
husband. Yeah.
colleague, send your boss, as long as he is a man, because we stand for this motto: men are not born, men are made. Males are born, but men are made. Because God said, let us make men. Even the making of men cannot take one individual. Because when God spoke about the making of men, he spoke in a plural form. So it takes a combination of ideas, wisdom, resources to make a man.
Sure. That is the voice of Apostle Jesse Lay right here on Radio Pulpit. We're also live on our Facebook page, speaking about the Legacy Conference and, of course, the theme, Seed Breaks Cycle. Let's talk about your lineup. I know you are hosting, but you have other men of influence who are also forming part and parcel of this.
Yes, Paul, like I said earlier, that we have speakers that are seasoned in the field of raising men. We've got Apostle Sitolo, who himself has a Save the Male Seed organization that has been doing this work of building men for for ages, for decades. We've got Bishop Benjamin Dube. We know that he is fathering boys. So he is also a worshipper. So he'll be coming to that angle, a man and his God. So
Sure.
we will also have Apostle Mtweni, who is also been involved in running camps for boys and men. So these people are passionate about this. It's not just about preaching, but it's about sharing experiences. We've got Apostle Don Makumbane from Limpopo have become part of Building Men. He's hosting men talks every July in Limpopo. So all of them are coming from their different angles, but what joins us is the passion to build men, is passion to equip men, is passion to make men. So every speaker is bringing her own experience, not just theory, but experience, sharing things that they have gone through. I usually say a man with wounds must ask direction from a man with scars.
Sure.
Because sometimes when somebody claims to be a soldier but he has nothing to show, it's difficult to trust. Because when somebody sees your wound and looks at his scars, he knows how painful it is to nurse a wound. So now you have a group of men who are not there to condemn you, but who are there to say, you're going to heal.
Yeah.
Because we've been there, done that, and here we are. God pulled us through. This is exactly what Jesus is doing to one of his disciples by the name of Thomas. Thomas says, unless I see his scars, I would not believe that he has risen from the dead. Because Jesus was so badly bruised and battered that Thomas, deep down, he says, he won't come up. He won't come out of that. He won't survive that. So when the disciple says, he is risen, Thomas says, unless I see the scars, I would not believe that he has resurrected. So sometimes we go through stuff not for ourselves, but for those who are coming. God gives us grace to survive these things so that we can tell other people that you can walk through it. You can survive it. You can resurrect from it. So we're gathering as men this Saturday to give each other hope, inspire each other, counsel each other, coach each other. So that is the purpose of this gathering. For 7 years, we've been doing this thing. We have testimonies and we've seen numbers growing. So we really also appreciate women who make sure that they spread the news to make sure that every man they know become part of this.
Amen.
Because we have men who came and says, no, my wife told me about this. Boys who will show up and says, my mother sent me here. So it's good when we become a community that partners together to say, unless we put men back where he belongs, we will have families that are broken than being protected. And remember, Mpho, that everything starts at home. Everything starts at home. I grew up in a village where a child messes up on the street. We don't ask, what is your name?
Sure.
We ask, whose child are you?
Yeah.
Because we know that the behavior on the street can only be traced back home. So these are the things that makes us to come together to dialogue, to say if we fix homes, streets will be a better place. Communities will be better places.
So you are listening this afternoon. You'll send through your son, your husband, like Umfundisi was saying. And if you are a man as well and you're listening, really, this is just so, so important. It's Legacy Conference. Mfundisi, give us details, where, when. I mean, I know we've gone through it, but just once again, for someone who's listening, who can we get in touch with for more information?
For people who wants to be part of this conference, even for those who would love probably to partner financially, because this is entirely run from my pocket and few people who partner with it, they can contact me on my number 0822163844. Alternatively, you can check our poster on Facebook. There are other numbers you can be able to contact if you're not getting through to my number. So to make sure that you get full details, it's on Saturday 11th. It's almost a half day conference. It starts as early as 9 o'clock up to 3 o'clock with a question and answer session. So make sure that you put time aside to be part of this if you are a man. If you are probably having a husband that had an engagement as a woman, that you can relieve him from such to be part of this conference, do yourself and your family a favor and make sure that you relieve your husband to be part of this power-packed conference. You cannot afford to miss this if you are a man. If you are a woman, you cannot afford to have your husband and your sons missing this, colleagues and bosses missing this. Make sure that you tell them about this gathering of men. We literally have an imbizo for men. God bless you as you are preparing to support this in any way you can.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Murudi. Much, much appreciated. Thank you, Murudi.
Thank you, Mpho. We
Lovely.
bless God for this opportunity. And thanks to everybody who tune in to listen, all the Radio Pulpit listeners. Bless you.
Amen and amen. That is Apostle Jezile talking about the Legacy Conference.
Advertiser ibhizinisi lakho ku Radio Pulpit ube semgangathweni. I Radio Pulpit iyi brand